Ravenna Grim, and this is Behind the Button Eye. This is just going to be a fun little video about 13 horror movies that either take place in summer or just have a summer vibe to it. I know it's kind of late in the summer season, but I really wanted to get a video out there, and I've just been enjoying a lot of summery horror movies this past month. I also think I'll make more summer horror videos in the future, so I thought this would be a nice little start. Additional info about the movies, such as directors, where you can currently watch, at least for the time this video comes out, and content warnings will be included on the screen. To kick off this list, we got a fan favorite of this year, Sinners. The story takes place in the 1930s in Mississippi. We follow preacher boy Sammy, who aspires to leave and be a blues musician. His cousins, identical twins that go by Smoke and Stack, are back in town from Chicago. The pair want to start a juke joint that night, however, some uninvited guests decide to turn up. I think everyone should see this movie at least once in their life. The cast, the music, the cinematography is all just amazing. The standout to me is definitely Miles Caton, who plays Sammy. It's hard to believe this is his acting debut, but he brings such sincerity to the role, and that's even before getting into how talented he is musically. It's a great movie to watch in the summer, and so much of the setting just looks like it's radiating heat off the screen. Another recent movie, this one came out last year instead of this year though, is Cuckoo. During the midst of grieving her mother, our protagonist Gretchen unwillingly moves with her father, stepmother, and mute half-sister Alma to a resort in the German Alps. Gretchen starts working at the front desk of the resort, and a lot of weird things happen as she tries to figure out what's going on, which only leads to further weirdness. This movie is a bit of an oddball, mixed with rather strained family dynamics to say the least, so if that sounds up your alley, give it a watch. With the setting being at a resort and Gretchen's job that feels pretty reminiscent to a lot of summer jobs a teenager might have, it's an enjoyable watch to add to your Summerween watch this season. Honeymoon is about a newly married couple, Bee and Paul, who spend their honeymoon at Bee's family's secluded cabin. Paul finds Bee seemingly sleepwalking in the woods one night, and since returning to the cabin, she is not the same. There's a cabin, there's woods, there's a lake. Pretty summery. It's a bit of a slow burn, but I think it's a pretty decent summer watch. From 2019, Us is about Adelaide, who experienced something seemingly traumatic when she was a kid in a funhouse at a boardwalk. Years later, Adelaide and her family return to said place and stay at her childhood beachfront home, and her anxiety about being there keeps increasing. And her concerns are pretty warranted as four familiar-looking strangers appear at the house during the night. Secrets only begin to unfold from there. The boardwalk, the beach, the funhouse are all summer staples. It's been a while since I've last watched Us, but I'm looking forward to watching it before summer is over. Now, this one might not be as summery as the others, but I just enjoy watching it in the summertime. The Fog, the 1980 original one to be clear, is a John Carpenter film that I don't hear about as often as his other works. It takes place in a tiny California coastal town as preparations for its centennial event go on. Strange things start to happen, including, yes, an interesting amount of fog, that ultimately leads to unveil a dark secret about the founding of the town. There's something cozy about a good ghost story in a beach town. Maybe that's just me, but if you're in the mood for something that's not too scary or gory, or you want something maybe playing in the background, I think The Fog is a pretty decent option. Since this is the first summer horror movie video I'm doing, and given the Legacy sequel that just came out this year, I thought it just made sense to include I Know What You Did Last Summer. On July 4th, a group of friends were driving together when they accidentally hit a pedestrian that they assumed was killed. They decide to hide their crime and make a pact to never talk about it. However, a year later, one of them receives a letter stating, I know what you did last summer. You can imagine how the slasher probably continues from there. This is probably one of the pinnacle horror summer movies one can enjoy. Okay, so this one might not be the most summery, but it's one that I particularly enjoy watching during the summer. The Wailing. The Wailing is about a policeman in a South Korean village who investigates a string of killings, seemingly caused by an unknown illness or perhaps infection. This movie keeps you guessing on what is actually going on, and it doesn't really let up. One of my favorite aspects of this film is, without a doubt, the setting. The movie spends a lot of time outside, and it's just really effective. In a Violent Nature is a Canadian slasher with a twist. The film is mostly from the killer's perspective, so we're just following this rotting corpse Johnny as he embarks on stalking and killing a group of teens who took a locket that unknowingly resurrected said rotting corpse Johnny. This one is not for everyone, but if you like very specific nature ambient videos on YouTube, this might be for you. Before I get into the last 5, I'm going to take a moment to spotlight a couple honorable mentions. So, this one is maybe technically not a horror movie, but I guarantee that it has scared kids, and probably at least some adults. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. If you've never seen this, basically it's Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang reuniting in search of a real ghost, leading them to be invited to an island in New Orleans, Louisiana, that is supposedly being haunted by ghosts and zombies. It is just an amazing movie that is perfect for watching in the summer. I know there are other Scooby-Doo movies that are maybe more in-your-face summer, but this one is just a classic. And I will not tolerate any Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island slander. The other honorable mention is Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Again, if you haven't seen this one or heard of it before, without giving too much away, there's suddenly a series of unexplained bird attacks in Bodega Bay, California. You got Tippi Hedren, you got Rod Taylor, you got a beachside town, and a whole lot of birds causing chaos. What more could you want? Now, back to the main list. If you want something more humorous for your Summerween watch, I present to you Tremors. We got 2 repairmen who want to skip town to escape their desert living, but a series of unexplained deaths start happening. This is just a fun creature feature film, and it'll probably make you appreciate the AC as you watch these characters scramble around in this hot-ass desert. The Bay is a found-footage horror movie from 2012. In a Maryland town, there is something wrong going on in the Chesapeake Bay, leading to an outbreak of citizens falling ill and developing lesions. This is a perfect summer horror movie. I think it's particularly the most enjoyable on the first watch, but it's still a fun one to put on regardless. It has a bigger budget than some other found-footage movies, and I think they put pretty good use to it. We're down to the final 3. If you're looking for something with a similar vibe to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I present X. I honestly think any of the X trilogy are pretty good summer horror movies, but I thought I should highlight X specifically. X plays homage and was also influenced by quite a few horror movies, but the most noticeable one is definitely Texas Chainsaw. The movie is set in 1979 and centers around a cast and crew who are going to stay at an elderly couple's rural property to make an adult film, without the couple finding out. You can probably guess how successfully that ends up going. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and the actors' performances are wonderful, especially Mia Goth's. So, I already listed a Jordan Peele horror movie on this list, but my favorite is his 3rd directorial film, Nope. The story centers around a brother-sister duo, OJ and Emerald Haywood, and their California horse ranch, and the pair discover there's something ominous happening in the skies above. I'm not saying too much about this one, because in case you haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away. I know this movie is sort of divisive, but I just really love it. The sound design is crazy. If you ever somehow get a chance to see it in a theater, do it. Again, good acting from everyone, and I love the sibling dynamic between OJ and Emerald. And I also find that I notice something different each time I watch Nope. So, for the final one on this list, to me, it's the epitome of summer horror. It's one I look forward to watching every year. And I'll admit, this last one is not a singular one. It's the same story, but 2 different movies. It's none other than It. Specifically, It, the miniseries, and It Chapter 1. Now, if you also want to include It Chapter 2, by all means, you can. I just have a special place for It Chapter 1. If you somehow have gone this far into your life without knowing anything about it, here is a quick summary. In the town of Derry, Maine, 7 kid outcasts band together to face their worst fears against a common, evil entity that has terrorized Derry for a long time. If you're going to watch any horror movie in the summer, it has to be It. And yes, I do mean both the miniseries and the latest film adaptations. It is essential for any and every Summerween watch. Thank you, one and all, who made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like or comment, and if you want to see more videos like this, I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd subscribe to this channel. Also, while I was recording audio for this video, my sweet little cat was taking a nap next to me the whole time, so please enjoy these photos I took of her. Let Let me know in the comments what your favorite Summerween or summery horror movies are. Thank you for venturing with me into the world of horror. Farewell and safe departures, my little ghouls.